Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, sleuths and sleuthettes. Is that a word? Sleuthette? Is that a word? I don't know. I just made it a word. Welcome to the Seance at the Whitney. The presence of your company is requested for a convening of spirits and general mayhem as we create it on the fly, so to speak. Here's our schedule. We're going to try to keep really tight to this 1 hour schedule. I know you guys have got lots of questions that haven't been answered yet. We're going to stay tight on the schedule tonight. Okay. Seance at the Whitney is an interactive indie author virtual book festival featuring author readings, an interactive improv mystery game, and book giveaways every night. You're not going to find a better deal in America. Participating authors are these astounding people you see on the screen before you. Please go check out their work, buy their books, support your local indie author. The readings tonight, we're going to have a good time. Justine Manzano is going to be reading from her book, Never Say Never. And Gary Floyd has a brand new book out. It's a mystery cover reveal tonight, which is why there's no title on that reading scroll. You're all going to be party to the very first time the cover will be revealed in public. So this is a super fun, adventurous night for all of us. All right, Justine, you get to go.
Yes, I am.
All right, when you are ready, please take the microphone and read aloud.
Okay, so reading from Never Say Never, if it wants to come through the blur. Gabe, you brought him here on purpose. Val stepped aside so Nina could get down the stairs. Well, yes, I brought him here because he's staying with Adam, and I wanted him to meet everybody. She used a measured tone like she was speaking to a kindergartner. That is not what I meant, and you know it, I snapped. I thought we were beyond this after the incident with Craig. I have no idea. Oh, can it, Val? Nina said. She's right. You may have brought him here as a friendly gesture, but you were definitely looking to hook Brent up. I wasn't against it, Val said. I groaned. Nina plopped onto the couch beside me, exasperated. I know you think I'm trying to pester you into doing something you don't want to do, but that just means you don't understand the true importance of love. I dropped my head back against the couch. She ignored me and lowered herself onto the edge of the air hockey table, leaning forward like she was about to give me the secrets of the universe. Love is the most powerful force in the world. Love can heal sickness and start wars. Believe me, I know. When she smiled, a little of her normal sparkle was gone. Oh, this again. Have you heard this, Nina? Val is an expert at love. She's seen it all, and she knows everything there is to know about it because she's been exposed to it once or twice. What do you know about my life before I came here? Val asked. Nina and I exchanged glances. Your family, Nina said. It only mattered if you wanted to tell us. We'd always had the policy that Nina's foster siblings needed to be the ones to tell us information like this. We didn't want anyone to be treated differently because of their past. Worse, we didn't want to accidentally treat someone differently because we knew something that they didn't want us to know. We just welcomed them into the family and went from there. We always figured if it was something essential, Angie and Roman would warn us. Still, we'd heard all kinds of terrible stories about what could happen in foster homes. Val took a deep breath and released it slowly. What I'm about to tell you is pretty deep. I would have told you sooner, but I didn't think you would believe me. And the last time someone found out, it didn't go well. She frowned. That's putting it lightly, actually. There were torches involved and pitchforks. She was worrying me. Val, whatever it is, you can tell us. You may drive me nuts, but you're a Lopez, and that means your family. Whether you like it or not, right? She laughed, but it was harsh and sad. The youthful light seemed to vanish from Val's eyes, a deep frown morphing her features into a less careful version of herself. Okay, I'll tell you. For a moment, she stared at her shoes. Then she mumbled something. What? I couldn't have heard that right. Your real name is Heidi? You bought a nightie? Nina said. You hid the body? You're a righty? I'm Aphrodite. I laughed. Yeah, and I'm the Mad Hatter. Val blinked. You don't believe me? No, Nina sighed. Val, what's all this about? What do you mean? You've been acting different lately, Nina said, running around the house like you've been dosed, talking about your mission. What's going on? Val was quiet for a moment. When she spoke, her voice was a low drone. What's going on is Bryn. She told me she doesn't believe in love, and that's absolutely unacceptable to me. I hear more and more people saying they don't believe in love every day. If I don't get back to work, will there be any love left? And what if I don't want to get back to work? What if I want to stay here? Nina made the slightest move, a tiny nudge to my arm, and I felt the panic, the fear that our friend had completely lost it. Val shook her head. You think I'm insane. Val, you're claiming godhood. Can you really blame us? Yes, Val stomped her foot and the glasses on the coffee table shook. Look, I don't just tell anyone this secret. And most of the time people think I'm lying or they think I'm a witch and, well, the pitchforks. Or they think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm not joking. I love Adam and Nina treats me like family. And Bryn, you put up with my junk. Her face flushed like she had to force the truth out and it hurt. I want to tell you guys and I want you to believe me. Is that too much to ask? Val, Nina said in a cautious, measured tone. Maybe if you could provide us with some proof, we'd believe you. It's a bit difficult to swallow. Val stared at us for one long, difficult moment, and I wasn't sure which I wanted more, for her to prove it or for her to be completely crazy. Neither option felt good. Close your eyes, she said. Nina and I shared a look. Just blink. I promise I won't have time to kill you. I blinked, but only after a strong eye roll. The room filled with the scent of roses, so strong it was stifling. When I opened my eyes, Val's look had completely changed. She was taller, and she stood with her shoulders back and her chin jutted forward regally. A shimmering pink robe hung from her body, and loose honey blonde curls adorned a head that had once held Val's tight platinum ringlets. An ethereal light emitted from her skin, and her feet were delicately wrapped in gold sandals. Where Val was cute with her button nose and youthful rounder face, this woman was sharp cheekbones and a wry smile. The only thing that remained exactly as they had been were the sparkling green eyes and the dimples in her cheeks. And then she opened her mouth. Surprise, peasants, I'm Aphrodite. Holy crap. I didn't have words for this. She was a, what? Nina elbowed me hard. I am Aphrodite, the goddess of love, the very creator of its existence. I will take no other gifts of worship for my existence apart from your pursuit of true, unwavering, romantic love. I blinked, and once again she was Val, but somehow her entire posture had shifted into one of grandeur. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, wanted what? No, I don't think that'll work. What? Val slumped, her hands on her hips. I'm a goddess, worship, she whined. Now that she was more like my Val, I could muster a more Bryn-like response. Nope, sorry, not interested. How do we even know you're Aphrodite? Nina said. You could be anything magical. Wouldn't mean you were really her. I'm the goddess of love and beauty. Hello, have you seen me? Who else could I be? Val motioned up and down her body. You've got to be kidding me, I grumbled.
Super fun reading. Thank you so much. That's super fun. Never say never, correct? Did I get that right? Yes. I love it when I can remember a title. That's so much fun.
If
check that one out. I know it's tough.
It doesn't want to.
With the whole blurred background.
It wants to catch Bryn's face. Anyway.
But you know what? Everybody can go to the website, check out the author yearbook. You can see the cover there and link over to find it. So check that out. Thank you, Justine, for your super fun reading. I appreciate it. Gary Floyd, you are up next, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to let you decide if you want to tell everybody the title of your book first, or you can wait, and when we do the cover reveal, you can tell them then.
We'll wait till the cover reveal at the end.
Awesome. So when you're ready, sir, take the microphone and read aloud.
I was torn between a couple of pieces that I decided I'd do this one while it's still current. And this one's called The First Debate. On November 5th, the United States will again prove that it's the world's indispensable nation, the anchor of global security, both forging and enforcing international consensus, a beacon of democracy for all to emulate. First, we have the President of the United States, who we recently corralled, aimlessly wandering around the West Wing. He barks, "You're a goddamn lying dog-faced pony soldier." His handlers come on stage, "Mr. President, your medicine." Trembling, the president says, "Now sit down and listen to me. Perhaps you want to challenge me to do push-ups. Or we could throw the medicine ball to see whose stomach is harder how about an IQ test?" In his challenger, live via satellite from the federal penitentiary in Allenwood, Pennsylvania, the former president of the United States. We're a nation in decline. Other nations are laughing at us. It's shameful that we sit idle as my opponent charges a president who got more votes than any president in the history of presidential elections over such trivial matters as theft, fraud, and sexual assault. My opponents didn't just indict me, but they attacked you and your right to vote for me. I'm speaking to you tonight from a cell, a really big cell, one of the biggest cells in the history of cells. A cell that, as I understand it, might even be bigger than Al Capone's cell, or so I'm told. It's a puny cell, jerk. Frosted Flake had a big cell. Back in Delaware, when I was a lifeguard, I had to deal with people like Frosted Flake. Frosted Flake was a bad dude, and he ran a gang of bad boys. The host cuts the president off. To protect the public from our debate, the former president was x-rayed and given a full cavity search was performed. Those x-rays will soon go on sale on the MAGA website. The proceeds will go to my legal defense fund, as well as my Make America Even Greater super PAC. Also, with each donation, you'll get steak knives with an American flag embossed on one side and the slogan, Keep America Great, on the other. Mr. President, are you trying to buzz in? Okay, Fat, here's the deal. When President Harris and I took office, we weren't going to make America great, but we were going to build it back better. This election will be another election for the soul of America. The difference between the Harris and Biden administration and my opponents is self-evident. Disregarding the foul language and the insults, I don't see it. I ran for Senate after realizing that America wasn't living up to its potential. I come from a small state that doesn't have many senators. Mr. President, each state has two, and this is a presidential debate. There's a lot I could say about that, but what the heck, my time is up. You still have 2.5 minutes. Looking lost, the president wanders. His handlers retrieve him and guide him back. The president reels out. Here's the deal. Putin is lost in Vietnam. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but for God's sakes, that man can't be allowed to stay in power. His advisors walk on stage and whisper, sorry, I just learned that I'm not advocating for regime change. The former president buzzes in. The biggest problem we have in America is that America just doesn't win anymore. Whether it's trade deals or military actions. As your president, I'll get America winning again. We'll soon be back at banging beautiful broads like we used to. That's ugliophobic and unfair to attractively challenged Americans. I go back to Thomas Jefferson, all men are created equal, and while you know the deal. Even now, people stop me on the street and they say, what an awesome peacemaker I am. On day one, the Ukraine war ends. I'll get the leaders in a room. There'll be tough negotiations, but they'll be fair. There'll be diplomatic sleepovers in Moscow and Kiev where no fighting will be tolerated except a robust pillow fight. Pretty soon, I'll be considered the greatest peacemaker of all time, bigger than Gandhi and Dalai Lama. Maybe not as great as Christ, but a close second. Gentlemen, now is time for closing arguments. Go vote for me, you stupid SOBs. If you can't figure out who to vote for, me and my opponent, you're not American. The president wanders away again. The loudspeaker announces, can someone from the U.S. government come and pick up your president? We found him in the aisle wandering along the lobbyist. The moderator says, now the former president's closing arguments. I will tell you that I look forward to being granted parole so I can travel to China and take a tough line with Chairman Xi. We could have a nuclear war with Russia when we could have one with China. I'll even fly my parole officer over at my own expense so that we can conduct court-mandated check-ins between the negotiations. Remember, November 5th, to exercise your constitutional right to vote for your favorite candidate of the two that we've already pre-selected. Make your voice heard. Let the world see how a functioning democracy picks a leader, even though its founders, in their infinite wisdom, created a system where they'd pick a leader for you if we, the people, couldn't choose one. Who'll win the impeachment palooza? Will it be the president, currently leading 2 impeachments to none and 4 indictments to 0, or the challenger, whose followers have recently opened a counter-impeachment inquiry on how to throw the current president off the ballot and hold his drug-addicted son in contempt of Congress? Both candidates have displayed a hunger-like tenacity to avoid jail time, despite both being at risk of being disqualified before the first vote is cast. If this happens, the next leader of the free world will be the congressman who wins the arm wrestling competition, or the member of the world's greatest deliberative body who wins the hot dog eating contest, or the potato sack race that will be held on the mall beneath the Washington Monument. The end.
Okay, we are now gonna do the reveal for, I always have this share screen issue. Okay, here we go. Here's the cover reveal. This is Gary's new book, This Side of Reality, How to Survive This War and the Next 15 to Follow. Gary, can you tell us when your book is due to arrive on our favorite books?
Right now it is out with the editor, and I'm probably looking to maybe April.
Awesome. Okay. Good luck with your new release. Thank you for sharing with us it with us first. We appreciate it. Yay! Okay, here we go. We're getting into the seance because we're trying to keep a tight ship tonight. So it looks like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna share my screen again. See, when I don't get to think, I don't think. Okay. Here we go. Seance at the Whitney. I'm not going to read this because I've read this 22 times already. Okay, 21 times. We weren't here on the 14th. So if anybody's wondering what this actually says, go back to the rerun and look at one of the replays because it's in all the others.
But you do it so well.
Yeah, not tonight. Okay. Just to remind you, though, you do need to know who our cast members are. The medium is the great Christopher Gare, back in the room again tonight. The assistant is Donna Newman. The author, Amy Kelso, she is not in the room tonight. The socialite, Don Mengeg, is also not in the room tonight. The spouse of our dearly departed Richard is Jules Nelson. The fan of the great Christopher is Marianne Wieland. The aloof guest, Gary Floyd. The maitre d', Melinda Falgo. And I am your storyteller. We're going to have a really fun night tonight because some of us weren't here last night. And so we get to play catch up. So in that thought, before we do anything else, Christopher Gare, I understand you would like to address the table.
I would. I guess I'd like to start off by giving kudos to my amazing assistant, Donna, whose idea it was to buy a novelty item, fart spray, in order to first dissuade Marianne from getting too close to me. Sadly, it backfired at first, but then we figured out a way to knock the wind out of her. You see, Donna also suggested using the spray to lead Marianne away, so that I could secretly explore the tunnels below. As Donna suspected, where my delightful derriere goes, Marianne's nose soon follows, only she cut loose through the wrong back door. Unlike others who forgot to take a flashlight with them, I have a flashlight built into my hat. What a gasp, right? And what I found in the tunnels will shock you. I saw graffiti all throughout the tunnels by people who let off a lot of hot air about never having been down there before. Even more astounding yet, I uncovered graffiti over the graffiti. I think the pictures I had printed at the CVS across the street are the true blowout and will point a very specific fickle finger of fate at one of us who's been a little too cheeky. For instance, tell me who might have done this.
Jules was here and killed my Nora. Jules' name is crossed out and it says Jezebel.
Okay, and then of course there was this one.
Melinda Rocks is crossed out and I can't see.
Make
It
me
says
some
make me some
pizza.
Make me some. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm wondering, Amy is the greatest stealing back.
Hack.
And the last one, of course, this was a great deal. This was shocking, absolutely shocking.
Diana's a writing goddess. What does it say? I can't see
Your
it.
biscuits not cooked in the middle. And we've lost Diana.
I don't know if I can. I just don't know. Mark, do something. Mark Love, do something.
During the great Christopher's absence, somehow he was able to project his mind reading powers across the state to me. And so I ended up with a special envelope. I don't have the hat, but I had the special envelope. And the image that kept coming to my mind was one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer.
They call that a brain fart.
And when I opened it, I thought that might be the case. When I opened it, the message said, "What the great Christopher orders when his #1 fan approaches."
Wouldn't be wrong.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Oh my God. Okay. Everything I had planned is now afoot. Okay. So Marianne Whelan, I really need to know, where did you get the red spray paint?
Well,
Oh boy.
you never know what you're going to find when you're the last one in the room with the pizza. You don't know what's in the tote bag that besides the great one's balls. There are other things in that tote bag. And I just happened to just take a quick peek at his balls and his other things, and
In his ball
you
sack.
never know what you're going to find.
I
He
imagine
is
you've
the
been waiting to do that for a while.
So do I understand correctly then that you're accusing the great Christopher of being a graffiti artist?
Well, someone could have taken it out of the bag.
Well, I suppose that's true. Okay, Mark
No wonder why he
McCrock,
locked himself in the bathroom.
He's a testy one tonight again.
Mark McCrock, go ahead.
So the great Christopher, how did you have time to do the tunnels when you know Marianne's going to be on your heels?
Well, that's what Donna was doing. She was leading Marianne away so that I could sneak down there and spend a little extra time investigating.
That
And where
was-
there's food, she would come right back at some point to look for more, so that gave me additional time.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Excellent. Is anything, Donna, please go ahead.
Well, first of all, the great Christopher, I'm so glad that what we did, our plan works. Sorry, my brain's completely, but you're telling me you didn't feel any of the ghosts? Like when I was down there, I definitely felt something. It scared me, so I left. So you didn't feel anything, just saw the graffiti?
I was actually listening to music as I was walking, so I wasn't really paying any attention except to what I was visually seeing around me. I was looking for clues specifically.
Okay. See, and I
I-
got scared, so I left.
I just have to say, I'm really grateful, great Christopher, that you didn't fall off the throne and bang your head on the porcelain. I was concerned that Melinda would have yet another mess to clean up. So thankful you survived. Gary Floyd, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I was perfectly comfortable with all the ghosts down there, but the people down there really scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, the people up here scare the hell out of me. Okay, Justine, go ahead.
My dog just started barking. Melinda, did you ever find the drawer unlocked? Do you remember finding it unlocked? And also you said your keys were missing, but that happened years ago. So how are your keys missing now?
Well, my keys were missing then. My keys are missing now. And I am ashamed to say that this has come out into the open. Maybe perhaps I have been a little distracted by the staff. I mean, for instance, I'll show you our employee of the month. This is the Brazilian maid.
Damn.
And as you can
Understand.
imagine, it takes quite a bit of my energy to focus on keeping the staff in line. And well, I never did find my keys. So it's possible that whomever has them has access to the entire Whitney.
No, this could be.
I think Melinda needs to meet with HR.
Oh, yeah.
Several HR violations right there.
It's a beautiful watercolor portrait that we had commissioned.
It's the artistic integrity involved in that portrait is just beautiful. Mary Beth McGee, go ahead.
I am just wondering if Melinda would be so kind as to share the name of the staffing agency through which she hired the Brazilian maid. 'Cause I want one.
Butlers in the Buff.
He does bear a little bit of an resemblance to a certain Gallifreyan Time Lord, which I find intriguing.
Well, we're all about intrigue here, if nothing else. Mark McCraw, go ahead.
Last question. Melinda, you don't seem to be very interested in finding those keys, because when you were telling Justine, you said you'd lost them before and you were sidetracked and all that, but it seems like you weren't very interested in finding those keys or asking anybody. They seem to be missing all the time.
Have you met Marianne? With
Yes.
customers like that who are demanding that they have appropriate fare to whet their appetites, do you really think that I have time to go down to the Ace Hardware and make an entirely new set of keys for this huge mansion? Oh my goodness, no.
But you're OCD though. You're OCD. Everything has to be exactly a certain way. So you should be right on top of it.
CD about some things.
He was on top of something, all right.
And twice on Sundays.
Diana
Parking.
keeps disappearing.
Diana has lost her control. Melinda, while she's trying to recover, I was going to ask you a question about the disciplinary approaches that you use to keep your housekeeping staff in line.
I know nothing about that.
We're talking about the push-ups.
Are we trying to kill Diana?
Hey, Marianne, please go ahead.
Yes, I have something to say.
Oh, Lord.
And I think instead of asking the harpy about it, I think I will ask Miss Storyteller about it.
Oh, no.
Miss Storyteller, Diana, the writer.
Now I'm worried, guys. She's losing all of my titles.
I'm wondering if the Whitney stands to benefit at all from Richard's death. I know you've done a lot of research. Does the Whitney get any monetary settlement from Richard's death, given the fact that we all can tell the quality has declined in the restaurant due to the turnover of staff, which turns over every other day, and the pathetic management that goes on in that place?
Okay,
Can
so
you answer that?
okay, so let me see if I can
The happy face.
let me see if I can quantify your question. What you're asking me is there an insurance policy on Richard Whitney to pay out to the estate upon his death? Is that your question?
That would be very close. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I don't know the answer to that question because the will from Richard is only seen by the family members, and unfortunately his sister Amy is not here, and as we've all heard before, the man never talked to his wife, so I'm not even gonna ask her. I think that question needs to be postponed until Amy can return back into the room.
Or the great one might be able to foresee that.
You know, I doubt it.
Is anyone the least bit troubled by the treatment of the staff? This staff in this place takes a pounding.
I am sure that is right.
Yes,
Particularly
they
the
do.
Brazilian.
I think that's
How can
another
they-
HR
How
violation
can they
right
even
there.
breathe?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brazilian
May I
takes a
say,
pounding.
the great one is quite ballsy for asking that question or making that statement.
He is that. Okay. Donna Newman, go ahead.
I actually have a question over the Seattle Times newspaper clipping. Anybody beside have a so I guess it goes to everybody. Any ties to Seattle?
Well, you mean aside from you and the great
Yes,
one?
and Christopher, the great
Yeah.
one.
Anybody else have ties to Seattle?
I
I
do
think
not.
it's a red herring, but just figured I better
Julie,
double
go
check.
ahead.
I just wanted to answer Mary Ann's question a little bit. I do know that I was not the beneficiary of Richard's life insurance policy, so it could have gone to the mansion itself because we had talked about producing an heir, but we hadn't yet. So I know that I think that it would have defaulted back to the mansion. So.
And Donna, just because, you know, sometimes I forget, sometimes there are questions that I need to answer as well. I do need to be upfront with you. I was born in Seattle. I moved to Michigan when I was 4 years old, when my father was reassigned from Boeing to Ford. So I have been in the state of Michigan since I was 4. I have visited family in Seattle since then, but I haven't been back to Seattle since my mother passed away 9 years ago. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer Rains, go ahead.
Because I've missed a few nights, I'm not sure if this question's been asked. It's for Jules. How old are you?
I think I'm 50. I think we established that I was in junior high while they were in high school / college.
And you've been married 5 years?
Yes.
Okie dokie. So you were 45. So the chances of you actually falling pregnant to Richard were incredibly slim at the time of your marriage.
Yeah, we tried the traditional way once and it didn't really pan out for us. So we were going to go more like the infertility clinic surrogate. We were going that way. We were going to produce an heir, not like reproduce an heir.
Okay. Christopher, your question, Christopher, and then I have something I want to share with the table. Go ahead, Christopher.
I was just going to go along the way of what Jennifer was hitting at. As I understand it, Julie, you and your husband didn't even share a bedroom, and you were going about an heir, trying to produce an heir with the maid or with your husband.
No, we
Federal
were talking.
Express.
We were talking about producing heir. We weren't actually like practicing or anything. We tried it that one time. It wasn't fun. So we were going the more non-traditional route, which was like to have
Adult
somebody
movies?
else carry it.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So much fun. Not where I thought this evening was going to go. Let me show you something and then we'll take some more questions. I need to show you a report that I received today. Actually, it's kind of a newsletter that one of my sources brought to me today. I want to show this to you real quick. It might be helpful. This is from the Detroit Morgue Review. This is a newsletter that runs throughout the various hospital morgue centers. And it says, there has been an odd development in the case of the alleged murder of Richard Whitney, one of 2 living heirs to the Whitney estate, during a seance in the famous Ghost Bar inside the Whitney Manor. While performing his regular post-mortem inventory, Stan McIntyre, morgue intern, found a pearl and diamond necklace in the inside breast pocket of the man's dinner jacket. The necklace was reported stolen approximately 4 months ago when Mr. and Mrs. Eric Berkson, heirs to the ill-fated Berkson estate, returned from a dinner party at the Whitney in support of Detroit Children's Hospital. The necklace was part of an auction fundraiser with the goal to buy an MRI machine for the hospital. The necklace raised an astounding $4 million and was valued at just over $2.3 million. Clyde Berkson, patriarch of one of the oldest Detroit families, was killed in the Ghost Bar at the Whitney Manor in a claimed act of self-defense after an argument he had with David Whitney Sr. some 3 generations ago. So just wanted to make that information aware to everybody. I have amazing sources that bring me incredible things. So let's go on with our Q&A. Jennifer Rains, go ahead.
Yes, Jules, the surrogate. Given that you've gone down the surrogate path, presumably you've identified a surrogate. Can we have her name, please?
No, we just talked about it. We hadn't actually gone through with anything. We had booked a visit with a fertility specialist clinic after we got back from our Europe trip that was supposed to be happening right now. So we hadn't actually made it to that appointment yet.
Okay, Justine, go ahead.
Does anybody here have a connection to Clyde Berkson?
The only connection we know about is the legend information that we were given. The Whitney lore was that's the only connection we understand or have uncovered thus far. Mary Beth, go ahead.
This question is for Melinda and for Julie. How did Julie know that Melinda had a gun? Did
Well,
Melinda make it common knowledge, or?
So Melinda talked about her gun all the time and how she could keep peace around there if anybody came, because it was Detroit after all. So she was just very, very open about the fact that she could defend us and the Whitney if we needed to. And I've seen it a couple of times. She didn't wave it around or anything, but she definitely made sure that we all knew it was there. So
Very vocal about my cold, hard, steel, gun. Yes.
Well,
Thank you, ladies.
and you do have military background, so I'm sure you understand how to use a weapon.
Donna has a question.
Donna, go ahead.
I actually just thought of this and maybe it was already answered, but Jules, so you're telling me that you went up to Melinda's desk, got the gun, walked all the way down to the well to see what was going on with never having an intent that you were going to use it. It was just something you just put in your pocket.
well, I knew that I needed to protect my darling Richard if she was going to be telling everybody that he pushed her down the well. So
Okay. Mary Ann, go ahead.
Okay, we all know that Richard much preferred Nora over anyone else. He had no real interest in Jules whatsoever. So this is my question to you, Jules. By some chance, I don't know how you persuaded him to marry you, but once you were married, did you notice any strange behavior, like him staying out late at night? No explanation as to what he was doing or where he had been. I'm thinking, if my sister is alive, perhaps there was something going on there. Do you have any input on
well,
that?
first of all, I was minding my own business at home, thinking he never thought of me once when he showed up and he just out of the blue announced that we should get married. It was a few days after the announcement that your sister was going to marry Troy. So I have a feeling that it might have something to do with that now. But yes, he frequently would go for long walks about the estate and would come back very disheveled and like he'd been out for a long time. So I I just assumed he loved nature and just liked to still take walks out there. So, but
he did spend a great deal of his childhood there telling stories with Amy and Nora. So not really an unusual thing that he'd be walking in the woods around the estate. Melinda, go ahead.
So the article that you recently discovered was referred to the ill-fated Berkson estate.
Mm.
What in your research have you turned up about the sad, woebegone Berkson estate? What happened to the family there?
As I understand it from the Detroit Public Library, the Berkson family fell in upon really hard times during the Great Depression, and the estate fell into ruin, and the children of Clyde Berkson and his heirs, their heirs, now we're 3 generations. As I understand it, all of the Berksons are currently working on the line for Ford and GM. They have lost what wealth they had in the Great Depression. All right, one final question from anyone before we end our Q&A for the evening. Jennifer Rains, go ahead.
That doesn't make sense, Diana. If they lost all their money in the Great Depression, how come they still had a 2.3 million necklace a few years ago?
That has been a piece of information I have not been able to uncover. All I was told was it was a family heirloom, and they were putting it up on auction to not only benefit the hospital, but of course they get a percentage from the auction as well. So I'm guessing that was their motivation in auctioning the piece, but I have yet to uncover where they actually got the piece from. Okay, there we are. The end for this evening. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for playing our game once again tonight. Super fun. I am having so much fun. You guys are really playing the game well. So who did it? We're going to come back again tomorrow to ask questions, collect clues, sling accusations, and maybe win some prizes. We are doing a recap on the 28th where everyone will share their accusations. And then on the 29th, we will reveal who actually did it. So the next 5 days are going to be pretty crucial to solving the mystery. Wax drippings. Here we go once again. Jules, I apologize. I've not had time to do this yet today. I've been so busy chasing down leads in this story. So Jules and Andrea are actually in flipped positions here because, you know, math. So I have a degree in English. I don't do math. So this is always a challenge for me. And there are the remaining standings for the rest of the crowd. All right. Moving right along to the talismans from the spirits. We're going to do the spinning wheel of happiness. We are going to first give away Justine's book, and then we are going to give away Gary's new book, which will not be coming to you until after April. So keep that in mind. You will be receiving it, but it won't be until after April. If your name shows up on the spinning wheel of happiness, please send me an email to diana@pagespromotions.com with your mailing address so I can make sure that the authors get you your books. So here we go. Spinning wheel of happiness time. Dun, dun, dun. This is always so much fun, technology and all. I'm not sure that the sound works because it's more fun with sound.
All right, we can see it.
Yay! Okay, cool. All right, so the first book is Justine's. Here we go. Congratulations, Mandy Joe! You won a book! Okay, second book that we're giving away tonight is Gary Floyd's brand new book that hasn't even come out yet. So watch for that. We will make sure that you get ample warning when it's coming in the mail. Here you go. Jennifer! Congratulations to Mandy Jo and Jennifer. You guys won books. Isn't this fun? It's kind of like Christmas, only a little bit more chaotic. I appreciate everybody coming out to playing tonight. Real quick, I mean quick, speed round. I want to go around the room. I want to hear from you what the most shocking piece of information you received tonight was. What was the thing that shocked or surprised you the most? Christopher Gare, go.
Melinda having a military background. I hadn't considered that.
Okay. Gary Floyd, go.
Come back to me.
Okay. Donna Newman, go.
I actually don't think that there was anything that really surprised me. I already kind of thought everything that was said today was pretty much what we had already discussed.
Okay. Melinda.
Not shocked, but I am have my ideas narrowed down now that I know that just the great Christopher and Donna were in Seattle, and I was quite curious about that article I found.
Indeed. Me too. I want to see the other half of that article. See if you can scare up the microfiche for me so I can read it.
Indeed.
Jules.
I was shocked that there was evidence that I was in the tunnels because I didn't know.
She blacked out during that part, evidently. Justine, go ahead.
That Jules and Richard tried for a baby once.
Yeah, that is kind of surprising, isn't it? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising?
That's
with everything she
wow.
said?
Immaculate conception.
I mean that they did it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Jennifer Rains, what about you?
I think I must have missed something. I didn't know about the tunnels. So I guess the tunnels is the most surprising thing to me to know.
Watch the replays from the last
That's
two
today.
nights. 2 nights
Yeah,
ago.
I looked here
Watch
yesterday.
those replays. Yep. Mark McCraw.
The great Christopher being in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mandy Jo.
I would say the stolen necklace that Richard had on him. That's intriguing.
Mark Love.
Probably the disciplinary actions that Melinda utilized to keep her staff in line.
He enjoyed it.
Old HR guy, you know, what can I say? Always gets your attention.
Miranda.
I don't know. I'm just totally confused. There's just been there's too many twists and turns in this story. I can't keep up.
That's why the replays are so important. Marianne.
The fact that I was the great one had Donna lead me thinking that I would automatically follow him. And the graffiti in the tunnel.
Sharon, do you have a shocking moment that sticks out in your head tonight? I don't hear your microphone. Turn your microphone on, Sharon.
Microphone.
Okay, let me know when you find it. Mackenzie, can you put your answer in the chat so Mandy Jo can read it? Mary Beth McGee, what about you?
Well, the fact that Melinda's Brazilian maid looks so much like David Tennant, and that there is the ongoing theft relationship between the Whitney and Berkson families.
Yeah, that history is intriguing, isn't it?
Yes.
Wolf, one shocking piece for you tonight.
Given the financial straits of the Whitney, that Richard had a $2 million necklace in his pocket.
Yeah, where'd that come from? Deb McPeak.
Mackenzie.
Nothing shocks me.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Wow. We have to work harder. Mandy Joe, go ahead.
Mackenzie says, I don't even know anymore. I'm just here for the laughs and book readings at this point. But Jules put in there that she forgot. I forgot my darling husband stole that necklace.
You knew your darling husband stole that necklace?
Convenient.
Isn't that intriguing?
No, I forgot that you said it because I was still trying to figure out when I was in the tunnels, but I forgot you said he stole that necklace. I'm shocked. He doesn't seem like the stealing type.
It doesn't
I
seem
think it
like
runs in the family.
Gary, did you come up with a shocking moment?
I'm just surprised to hear Clyde entering the story again.
Okay. All right, one more thing before we finish for the evening. Real quick, I want to remind you all, go to the website, pagespromotions.com, look under the tab that says Festival, and you will find the Indie Author Yearbook for this year's Seance at the Whitney. All of the books that we hear reading this month are in there. All you got to do is click and it'll take you over to their Amazon buy page. You can buy the books, read the books, and then go back and click on that link again to leave a review. Reviews are the heart and soul of indie authors. It's what keeps us going. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, we want to know because that's how we become better authors. So please do us the courtesy and great favor of leaving a review. Also, the big reveal is February 29th. We're having an extravagant hat party in addition to a bunch of other fun stuff. And with this crowd, you never know what's going to happen. So you don't want to miss that. Shots across the bow real quick. I've got 3 minutes left. Christopher Gare, go ahead.
Tonight was completely predictable. There was not one unpredictable moment in the entire night. I mean, I feel bad for everyone. They must have been bored.
Okay. Gary Floyd, shots across the bow.
I'm just enjoying it all. I'm taking it in and enjoying it all.
Awesome. Donna Newman.
Well, because Amy's not here, I'm going to tell everybody she did it. A ghost told me.
Cool. I'd like to know the name of that ghost. I'd like to interview them for my next column. Melinda.
I'm quite surprised that Christopher was not surprised by my proclivities, but no, there it is.
Jules, go ahead.
I think I'm gonna have to go. I mean, Amy's not here, so we have to say that it was probably her. She's probably the person who's getting the life insurance policy, and she knew it. So she knew she had to get it before we, produced that error through, the system. And so I think that's why she did it.
The system.
I can't wait for Amy to come back tomorrow. Marianne, shots across the bow.
I don't think I'm coming to any more events at the Whitney. The food sucked.
I think we've heard that complaint before.
And you may hear it again.
I'm sure I will. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming tonight. I really appreciate your playfulness. And we're going to get to the bottom of this, I promise. One way or another on the 29th, there will be answers. Thank you, everybody. Christopher, safe travels.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Safe trip.
Night.
Yeah, I know. Hang on a second. Just a minute. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened tonight, but
Are you gonna
You're
stop
still
recording?
recording. You're still recording.